Okay, we are live on YouTube. Hey, everybody. So things change around a little bit today, where we are on YouTube for the whole watch along today, which is very exciting. Very exciting stuff. I am publishing this everywhere. Again, there's not enough people in here, so as people join, I'll make sure that I am promoting it everywhere. Let's see. Let me make sure. Oh, Gabi's starting. That's right. Of course, Gabi's starting. Let's see. And the game is underway in Celta de Vigo. I think more people will join as we go along. Yeah, people are starting to join now. There we go. Hello, Midway. How's it going for this game? Okay, yeah. So on this, we don't have like a stream or anything like that, but that's okay. Let me see. I just want to make sure. Yep. Okay, so I put it there. Let me put it on. Let me tell people on Discord as more people join, and those likes are very helpful as well. So thank you there. And who else needs to know this? Patreons need to know this. Okay. Yeah, so I don't have any of the graphics today for this, and that's okay. That is okay. We're going to do some text here, and then we're going to get to this. Barca versus Celta live stream on YouTube. And then I got to take my notes. And we're just going to create that post. Again, hello, everybody. As this one's getting started here. It looks like immediately it is, yes, Casado, deepest, underneath Pedri and Gabi. Oh my gosh. This is the days we live for. These are the moments we live for. Let's say long ball at the back. And then it's Olmo there on the left wing and Rafinha on the right. I think this is exactly what should have been done here. Yeah, and this is an away matchup. Celta de Vigo versus FC Barcelona? Yes, it should be, but you get my point. Barcelona, for the algorithms and everything, we always say the Barcelona part first. So it shows up everywhere. Let's see, Barcelona versus Celta. Okay. Now, where are we here? We should probably grab the... There's a lot of... There is a lot of Celta de Vigo overlap, obviously, for this part with Celta's team, obviously. Ilaix Moriba is starting. I want him to succeed. Is he the guy that we already have to talk about, Ilaix Moriba? I don't know. He's one of those examples where when I saw him at youth level, then I even saw him from the first team. I feel like if he hadn't left, it really would have worked out for him, honestly. Like, I don't think he has a ceiling of, like, obviously, like, Pedri and Gavi are two of the best under 21 players in the world. Like, arguably, Pedri and Gavi are two of the top 10. What was that? Too quick of a yellow. Oh, it was a yellow for Barca for that tackle on the youngster, right? On the youngster Javi Rodriguez, yeah, the outside back. That's not a good tackle. Gerard Martin, don't give me reasons to get upset at you, but he does. Fourth minute, Gerard Martin gets a yellow on a bad tackle. That's terrible. But yeah, Ilaix Moriba is a tough case because it's like I want him to succeed. I truly do. Like I think Barcelona have way too many other midfield options, but oh my, that was class. That was pretty good. And usually Aspas doesn't miss those. Was that offside though? Oh yeah. By a mile. Well, maybe he was onside, but Celtics pressing quite a bit here. And so far, it's worked to their advantage. That's not great. Gerard Martin crashing into Olmo. And then Kubarsi had to be careful there. With Devikas running in. Goal kick. Not a good start by Barca. Not a good start. Celtics press early. Then no, this is not on Big Up today. This is just on YouTube. This is just a YouTube stream today. ISU. So this is all exclusively YouTube the whole way. So we changed it. Got changed around. So this is just a full live stream here. We're not on Big Up today, but we'll be Big Up. We should be back on Big Up on Tuesday. Let's see. Self-depressed. Let's see. Martin gave it away. Crashed into Almo, and Cabarsi had to take a chance. Okay. Yeah, so anybody who can give us a like, that would be a big help as well to get this moving. Crossed by Mingueza, by the way, on that opportunity for Aspas. Let's see, Mingueza delivered to Aspas, and Aspas went wide. Okay. I haven't really had any opportunities to get like too excited about this so far. But yeah, this is the lineup that we want to see with that midfield, right? Costado just letting Gabi and Pedro kind of do their thing as Costado on the ball. Then Cunha, Cubarsi, Inigo Martinez, and Jar Martin. I'm pretty frustrated Jar Martin already had a yellow, honestly. Like, not saying it's going to like put me in a bad mood or anything for the game, but I don't. Maybe he's as nervous as I'm making it out to be. Like, I don't even think that he's bad. I mean, I said I saw him with the third team or in the third division last year with Barcelona Athletic, and it was fine. Like, Jar Martin is fine. But I just think everything I've seen so far in 3 months, this level is just a bit too high for him. Jonathan, you missed the first 6 minutes. Well, so far, Barca is struggling with that press from Celta de Vigo. Celta de Vigo are turning them over. Gerard Martin got a quick yellow. They've been failing to clear. So right now, it's been all Celta in the first 7 minutes of this game so far. So not great from Barcelona. Not good stuff. My Ola Kool-Aid shirt though just came in the mail. By the way, I know I have another one, but this is like just a softer version, and this is I was the other thing to get me in a good mood. Bamba is the one to really watch on that left side. Really dangerous. Muriba misplayed it and then immediately fouled Gabi. Those two, when I talk about two players that know each other, I don't know how many games they played together at youth level, but let's see. Gabi he's August of 2004. August of 2004, and Muriba is January of 2003. So yeah, no, Muriba always played a level up of Gabi, even though they both played levels up. So Gabi was either 1 or 2 levels up pretty much from the U14s on. And then he was obviously 16. He was already in the first team. And then Elias Muriba was the same thing. He was 14 with the U16s. And then when he played with the U19s, he was 17. And then he debuted for the first team at 18. And then his first season with the first team, right? He was 18 years old. And then he transferred out, which I can't need Moriba. Then also in this game, of course, is Marcos Alonso on the one side, and you have Mingueza in front of him, which is just really interesting to have Mingueza and Marcos Alonso and Idas Moriba and all of our friends playing for Celta de Vigo. They have Borja Iglesias also to come off the bench too, but he's had some trouble with his fitness this year. They say no foul, so Costado just got bowled over, no foul. And that bench for Barcelona, Noah Darvic named to the bench today. It's exciting for him. as I've said, I don't know. I think there are too many players in front of him at his same position. Like, I don't know how he possibly gets into this game, but hey, who knows? And then Guy Fernandez also on the bench, along with Alvaro Cortez, the young left foot. Well, no, he's a right-footed center back instead of Andres Cuenca. That's the left-footed center back. All right. Finally, Barcelona. It took 10 minutes. Barcelona finally have a string of possession. But now twice that cross from the right side, letting them down early. Koundé had misplayed one. Then Gabi misplayed one. Ziemeister, hola. Oh yeah, hola culés. That's what my shirt says. I think the proudest thing about this shirt is definitely the microphone. Like this is like the one thing, right? Sorry, I know Ziemeister. I put it everywhere that there's an issue with Big Up today. So the Big Up stream is here on YouTube today, unfortunately. So we had to do a little bit of a switcheroonie. So now it's just a YouTube live stream today. So no scoreboard. A bunch of people joined as I was drinking water, by the way. I hope you like water. So the scoreboard and tactics board. So we'll have to wait till Tuesday for that. So Tuesday, we should be back on Big Up on Tuesday. But again, for now, here we are on YouTube, just doing the thing, doing a little fun live stream, and then likely later tonight. Jonathan, I feel like you streamed on another platform. Well, I do my podcast on a different platform that you guys don't know about. That's a secret one. But no, yeah, it's Big Up. Big Up is the one I do it on Big Up. Usually today is YouTube only. There you go. Yeah. Well, I'm just hoping Tifo turned into Big Up. Same company. Sorry, Jonathan. Yep, there you go. All right. This is a little bit better from Barca. There's Rafinha coming in on his left foot. Oh, who is that? Pedri getting in there? And offside anyway, but I think that was going wide. No, you good, Jonathan. I think that was going wide anyway. Almo finds space really well. That was just Almo pushing. You know, I think seeing Almo even on the left, like the combination of Casado and Almo on the field covers for everything that De Jong does well, right? Like I know that's 2 players to 1 player, but the reasons why you'd put De Jong in the team, Casado does that at a reasonable enough level. And then Almo's ability to come inside to the middle and drive into space and also beat players on the dribble. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough day to be De Jong, and that's a good problem that Barcelona has, because there were so many times and Rafinha, there we go. Yeah, but then the bottom ball let him down. All right, so Barcelona finally found the game. It only took 10 minutes, but Barcelona found the game. They're calmed down now. And as we know with the press, eventually, Barca will get through the press. And I think to somebody's question, yeah, Jonathan, you had asked, do you think Celta de Vigo learned anything from Real Sociedad's press? I think most teams learn things from that press. I mean, that's kind of how you play against a high line. But as I said, I think there were a lot of systemic issues that Barcelona had against Real Sociedad. And now that they've had some time, well, not really, it was just the international break, but you feel like they would have had some time to watch some film to understand kind of why that all went wrong. And even in that match, though, I say it, like Real Sociedad won that game 1-0, and the VAR for Lewandowski's goal was like called off. So it's like, as much as Barcelona were not the better team, right? There was the one match this season where Barcelona against Real Sociedad, they were not as good as the opposition. Monaco, they were man down. Osasuna, I think, again, they were heavily rotated, and I thought they were fine against Osasuna. Wasteful for the ball with the ball today. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they've been sharp to start the day. I wonder if it's a little bit of FIFA, tired legs, a lot of planes. Is Rafinha onside? I think Rafinha was onside. Was he? Oh, he was. It's 1-0. Did Barcelona deserve that? Nope. But yeah, they were wasteful, and then they weren't. I think that's probably going to be one of the headlines. Yeah, so wasteful, then they weren't. So Rafinha's goal was that, I think it bounced over Mingueza, didn't it? Let me see the replay here. And who delivered that ball? Was that Inaki Pena? Let's see. So this is no, it's Kunde, right? Yeah, he is on definitely onside, and he got in behind. Yep, in behind Mingueza. It's tough, buddy. Yep, Kunde over the top. Mingueza misplayed it. Rafinha cut back onto his left foot. Wide open. Rafinha was played onside. Clear as day. That's tough. That's tough for the old Barca boy. You also see the little bit of misinformation was going around on social media this week about Mingueza saying that like he and Xavi didn't get on, but he was saying that his mentality struggled, not that Xavi's mentality with him struggled. And that was a mistranslation, which is so super. I mean, that's why I'm still trying to learn Spanish after all this time, because those mistranslations are really frustrating. So there was a lot of misinformation going on around social media today that Mingueza and Xavi were like having an issue or didn't like each other, and that's why he transferred out. But that's not the case. All right, so Barcelona up 1-0, whether they deserved it or not. They're up 1-0. And that's what I've said too. You gotta take your leads when you get them. You gotta take your chances, and you can find yourself up in games. So Celta de Vigo didn't take their chances. Aspas missed wide early. They didn't take advantage of that press when they were on the front foot, and then Barcelona found the game. And it took Barcelona basically 5.5 minutes from finding the game to get that first goal. And Rafinha just can't stop scoring. And Kunde, he had wasted 2 crosses prior to that. And then that, just a dime over the top. Same third pass, right over the top. Mingueza, I don't even know if it was Mingueza playing him on side, but I know that the Celta de Vigo, whoever I think it was, maybe it was it the right back? I think it was the youngster Javi Rodriguez that was playing him on side. I'll have to see that again. Yeah, I mean, I guess it was his fault though. Do you know what history that makes for Rafinha? So Rafinha now in the Liga, his 8 goals now in the Liga have already surpassed last season's 7. He looks good with the captain's armband. So I want to know from the people in here, Neil and I had talked about earlier in the week about Rafael Leao and stuff potentially, coming to the team. I mean, I know that Barca don't have the money to right now, but yeah, maybe I don't know. I think they could do a lot worse. Who's this? Bamba over the top? Was he onside? Looks like he might be. Took a heavy touch though. Woo! That's Barcelona playing with some fire. Good stop. Good stop, Gerard Martin, though. Good block. Let's see if he was onside. Yep. Bamba onside. This first that touch he took in front of himself. Still a good delivery. Oh, no, that's Moriba. That's Idas Moriba. All right. Idas Moriba onside. I know, he'll never come back to Barca, but I can dream. Ooh. Let's see. Good block, Gerard Martin. Then he had one from distance that Inaki Pena had to push over. Oh, then everybody's favorite Marcus Alonso. I'm glad that he's gone. I I know he's put his demons behind him in the past, and he was young with everything, but it's just I don't know. It's always a case of, like, I think Barcelona just needs to kinda be, Mexican club in those kind of circumstances. Woo! Gabi. I almost out of bounds. That's tough. Anyway, what does everyone think of the Rafael Leao stuff? Um, I think there's definitely a way forward. Like, I think Lamine Yamal plays too much. So, like, the idea that you could add Rafael Leao to that left side, I mean, I think there'll be time for Rafinha. There'll be time for Lamine Yamal. You can play Rafinha in the middle. You can play Rafinha on the right, and it'd be great to rotate Lamine Yamal sometimes. You could play, um, yeah, I mean, you could play. I don't know if you play Rafinha in the middle. I mean, up top. I mean, like as the 9. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Depends on the opponent. All right, so Celta de Vigo's answered a little bit, as they should have at home. That's another good ball. Danny Olmo defending, and defending well, too. All right. Barca doing enough. Fran Beltran. Fran Beltran, too, he had such a high ceiling. I remember watching him when he was just coming up. I remember him watching, I think he played for Spain. He was always a big Spanish youth player. And I remember watching him with that, what is it, the Alba Ruiz, Sergio Gomez, Juan Miranda, like that whole group. He was in that same group as them. And he was like one of their midfield starters. I remember watching him with that group when at the U17s or whatever. And I did think that he had a higher ceiling. Like I always thought he was going to be like a really, really good controlling midfielder. I don't know what level, but a similar level, which I guess he is at the level of Alba Ruiz, again, who's a starter for Girona, and Sergio Gomez, who is currently also with Girona. I know he's in. Where's Sergio Gomez right now? Sergio Gomez is in Real Sociedad, of course. They just play against him. Yeah, I mean, Fran Beltran, Celta's a fine team. They've had their down years with him, but I'm glad he's always had that home. I think he's definitely a quality player, but I don't think he hit the ceiling that I thought he had when he was a young player, Fran Beltran. Olmo into Gabi. Yeah, just didn't get enough of it. But hey, good combination play. So 22nd minute. Say good combination stuff. Olmo held it up. Pedri and Gabi keep that ball moving. I would say that's like around the box. That's what's interesting about this group with Pedri and Gabi. You've got two players that, I mean, Pedri does have some goals this year, but you've got two players that aren't really that inclined to shoot in Pedri and Gabi around the box, and they're just kind of looking for the forwards to kind of get those goals. But almost look good on the left wing too. That has not been a problem at all. He is easily sorted into the middle of the field. Right? This kind of felt like the lineup that Hansi Flick had to go with, right? Other than like, yeah, Gerard Martin rotating in, but once we knew that Gabi was going to start, this had to be the lineup. All right. This is definitely Bamba is quick. One of the quicker players in all of the Liga, and he's a headache for Kubarsi and Inigo Martinez. He's got some speed. Yeah, I mean, he just beat Inigo Martinez to the spot. Didn't get his foot all the way around it. All right, that's a little bit. Ooh, Gabi. I missed him. We all missed him. I guess, of course. I mean, he gave that away though. Yeah, Bumba's very quick. I mean, he's a challenging one. I mean, a lot of Celta stuff has come through his left side this year. A lot of the success. Nice dummy by Pedri too. Now what you got? I remember there was a time, I mean, many of the last few years, but even like I think Valverde era, we saw a lot of this where Barcelona would have possession around the box, and because Messi was just somewhat to the opposite. They were just kind of waiting, and Messi would drop deep. He'd find the ball in the middle. Somebody would find him, and because like Luis Suarez by that point, it did feel to a point like he was like almost driving in slow motion. It is great to see Gavi again, but because it felt like Luis Suarez so often was like going in slow motion, it was hard to. I don't know. It just felt like so many times if they kind of didn't get it in transition. Gosh, I miss Gavi. Gavi does that thing with his tongue where he puts it into that corner of his mouth there. See, I'm a tongue biter when I play stuff. I'm always worried that I'm gonna bite my tongue out one day. Like when I'm really focusing, I do the tongue bite when I'm throwing or when I'm kicking or when I'm really focused in. I got the little tongue bite action. Probably shouldn't have gone for goal there. The youngsters for Celta de Vigo have let them down so far. I think a bit. Hugo Alvarez, the 21-year-old. Javi Rodriguez, also 21-year-old. Yeah, 21-year-old. And then Starfelt, the 29-year-old, the Swedish defender. He's had a good season so far. He's in pretty good. And how old is Moriba now? 21, right? Yeah, it's only 21. He's still only 21, Idas Moriba. And Divikas, their big signing is just running. He's just running around up there. Well, not he was a signing 2 years ago from Utrecht. But I don't think he played much last year. He was hurt last year. I don't know. But all right, so this game is now we're 26 minutes in. It feels like this game has kind of found some of its rhythm, some of its flow at this point. And we already have two headlines, which is nice. Because since Barcelona did start in the back foot, Celta started well with that press. They again got an early yellow for Gerard Martin. I wonder if he'll come off at halftime. Potentially. Is Balde available today? Yes, Balde is available today, so he might come off at halftime. I hope Barcelona score a few more goals because I do want to see Noah Darvish make his debut with the first team or Guy Fernandez. You know me. When Barcelona are up in games, give me the kids. I always like to see the kids that I watch at a youth level, and I always just want to see them make their debuts. I know like there's always a day for it. So give me some Darvish, give me some Guy Fernandez, Alvaro Cortez, the defender. Probably gonna have to wait his turn with that front line of Celta de Vigo between Aspas and Divikas and Bamba running at him. I think let's give Sergi Dominguez and Alvaro Cortez let's give them the day off. Like give me some of those midfielders. For who? I don't know. I don't know who. That's a good find. Here comes Aspas. Ooh. All right. Good on you. That's the play of Gerard Martin's career. Shoving over Iago Aspas, and not getting a call. That is so close. Was that a foul? Maybe it's a foul. I mean, even 2 years ago, Aspas is just gone. There's no way. There's no way Gerard Martin even catches up to him. But Iago Aspas is not a young man anymore. What is he, 37 now? Yeah, not a young man anymore. So that was close. And this is a fortunate bounce, too. Well, no, Bamba threads the needle. Let's see this. Now we're watching in slow-mo. He doesn't touch the ball. I think that is a foul that Barcelona got away with. Can't wait for Tony to come back, like Tony Fernandez, Joaquim. Oh, that's a different thought. Sorry, I combined the two responses. Not a fan of Gerard Martin. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not I'm not a fan of him. I just don't think this is his level. I think he needs more experience at another level like Celta de Vigo before he would return to Barcelona. Like Barcelona is just he sticks out like a sore thumb. Like maybe in under Ronald Koeman, like with some of the players that were out there in that era, like he fits at that level. But with the level that Barcelona is playing at and these world class players around him, he sticks out like a sore thumb. Yeah, he just hasn't been good enough. I'm excited for Tony Fernandez to come back too, Joaquin, if that's what you're saying. Uh, yeah, I mean, he's the next up. I think just to give people a heads up, like for the La Masia update I'm going to do, I've been doing some other stuff, but I've got a big one planned just because this group is it's so special that in the spring, depending on how the Liga goes or the Copa del Rey, I mean, we could arguably see like 7 or 8 kids that you've heard me talk about. Now, you've already heard, if you're watching here, you probably have heard the names before. Guy Fernandez, Tony Fernandez, um, Noah Darvich, Andres Cuenca. But then even below them, there's 2 or 3 others that I would normally be hyping up like crazy that are 14, 15 years old right now too, that are a year or 2 away. And then there's other ones that I would generally be humping up like Leonard Fede. And yeah, there's just so many talented players in La Masia right now that yes, not all of them are going to make it, but like it's the concern is that so many of them are good enough, and they also play a variety of different positions. As I've said, the only 2 real positions that aren't really represented as Inigo Martinez kept that one in, it looks like. I think Koundé thought it was going out. No, Koundé read it well. Yeah, nice job by Koundé to clear that. And then Rafinha, almost in behind, but the keeper came out to get it. Armand, why do I think Martin keeps starting over younger players? Because left back and left wing, that's what I was going to say. Like those 2 positions are the 2 that don't really have good comparisons to jump up to that level. Like again, I think Gerard Martin starts over Hector Fort, one because of he's a bit more defensively sound than Hector Fort. He just is. Like I know he's made mistakes here, but he's a bit more defensively sound and consistent defensively. Should be on paper, and I know he is in training just because I saw them last season, and he was more defensively sound consistently than Hector Fort was last year. So I think also being left-footed, starting on the left, Hector Fort on the right. So I think that's one reason why he starts over Hector Fort. But actually, the prospect Alberto Navarro was the next up left back who I thought would have been able to compete with Gerard Martin for this position, but he went to Atlanta. Yes, I nailed all this. He went to Atlanta. Sorry. I'm talking like I don't know. Yeah, so Albert Navarro, who is 17-year-old left back, he left for Atlanta. He had some things where I'm not sure if he was going to be, the guy, or I didn't know what his level was going to be, but I thought at the time he was the best left back prospect. But he wasn't the level of Balde even. Like Balde was a top prospect in the academy, and Navarro was kind of that B or C tier. Armand, you named it, Alex Valle. That's the one I don't understand. He's played a few times for Celta, and I think Hansi Flick thought it would be better for him. And this is how he makes sense, though, right? Like Gerard Martin is a backup who's going to play 15 games this season for Barcelona's first team, where Alex Valle is likely going to get 35 games for Celtic and potentially come back and just be a rotation piece with Balde, where there can be 1A and 1B. Because Alex Valle's attacking prowess is that good. Like Alex Valle's attacking stuff is high level. Defensively, he had some concerns last season. 2 seasons ago, because last season was with Levante, and he was good with Levante as well, and I think he just continued to improve. So I'm fine with the fact that, I don't even know if the club expected when they sent Alex Valle on loan. I didn't know they were expecting to be as good as they were. I think they wanted to be, but the fact that we're kind of arguing about the fact that the hole in the squad is the backup left back position. I'm getting word that I should delete this on Big Up, so I am actually going to be deleting this. Okay, yeah. Stream is on YouTube today. Okay, thanks everybody. There we go. Yeah, so that's why I think for Valle, um, yeah, I think it's in the long-term future of the club, like, it's a much better sign to have him go and play 30 games this year and have Gerard Martin, you deal with what you can get with him for 15. I think I expected him to be better for the 15 or however many games he's gonna play this season. I maybe just nervous, maybe he's not at the level yet. But let me go. I actually have, like, my master list that I'm going to try to find somewhere. Where is it? There. Let me just mark this down so I have this. Um, there we go. So yeah, I mean, there's not too many people in here, so maybe I'll spoil it for you in a second. But let's go back to this game. Barcelona still up 1-0. How many touches does Lewandowski even have in this game? Not many, but he's just creating space, as we know. Bamba on the ball again. Bamba on the ball again. Watch out for Bamba. Let me write that in my notes. Let's see. Kunde had. Let's see. Hi, Dan. Not home to catch the game. Shola, how has Gabi's start been? Gabi, skill wise, has been excellent. He's had 2 or 3 dribbles that like turned on the ball that were just excellent Gabi stuff. Him and Pedri right now are both just moving the ball horizontally. Like they're just shuffling the ball and kind of waiting for that moment when this midfield is because Celta's playing so narrow and also trying to play against that high line that it's a lot of Olmo coming back to meet it and then Olmo kind of driving forward with the ball and then using the back line of Kubarsi or Kunde or Niger Martinez to then bypass the midfield line and find their forwards. That's how the first goal was scored even. Kunde bypassed the midfield over the top to Rafinha. Rafinha misplay by Mingueza, which is, terrible error. And then Rafinha wind up scoring. Let's see. So, yeah, I agree with you, Meister. They have not been clean today. Like, I would say that I don't think Celta's been the better team. Like, Real Sociedad was right before the break. But I would say that that's a misplay by Gerard Martin. He didn't misplay it. He just missed Gabi. Gabi made the run. Now Barcelona's all out of position. Fortunately, Nico Martinez figured that all out. Okay, so let me go back to my list though. So let me see. This is my master list here. There's this kid named Lamine Yamal is like my top under 20 player for Barca right now. You guys know who he is? Or Pau Cubarsí. That's a good argument too. He's a healthy one. And then I have Bernal as number 3, basically. I mean, I don't have it in a number list, but I mean, in Costado being 20. Yeah, so Cubarsí, Darvic, Bernal. I'm almost underrating Pau Preem. I keep not talking about him. And I'm thinking that, and y'all can let me know this right now. I'm thinking about doing some kind of ranking where I go down and say, hey, here's the top 25, La Masia talents at the moment. But it's so hard to, kind of compare different groups, because you don't know who's ready for what. Like Unai Hernandez is different than Guy Fernandez because Unai Hernandez is very much like a Fermin Lopez type situation. He's 20 years old. He might be able to help the first team now, but he might just be in the first team next year, and that's it. Guy Fernandez potentially is could be a top player. Not necessarily for Barcelona, but I just mean his ceiling is much higher than Unai Hernandez's at this point, where he's 16 and Unai Hernandez is 20, right? But at the moment, I think Unai Hernandez is a better player, but Guy Fernandez's potential is higher, right? So how do we talk about those two players? How do I rank them, right? It's almost like ranking off potential, but it's also so weird because do I put Lamine Yamal and Costado and Cubarsí and I mean even Bernal, who's played 3 games of the first team? Do I put them on this list too? Because then how do I go from talking about them to talking about a player like Ibrahima Tukara or Baba Karuma, who I really want to talk about. Baba Karuma, by the way, shout out to him. Baba Karuma is the younger brother of Ilaix Moriba, who stayed at Barcelona. And he's kind of a do-everything player. He's likely going to be a center back or defensive midfielder at the top level, but he's playing levels up, and people in the club are kind of leaking. And maybe this is just because Ilaix left, but I don't think so. They're saying that he maybe has a little bit of a higher potential than his brother. His brother at the lower levels played more as an attacking player as well. There's Bamba again. That's just a bad ball. And Inigo Martinez, he's getting his run in. Could you do a video on the newly signed athletic players? Yes, Jonathan. To your point, I also, when I get the opportunity, I want to talk about. You were getting me to my point here. I want to talk about David Aduro. Aduro did. I'm surprised he didn't make the squad, but they want to keep him working, out with the club. But David Aduro is a 17-year-old left back who came from Ghana. Yes, Ghana. Played in the Ghana Premier League. Was playing as a starter as a 17-year-old. He's 18 now. That's why he was able to come. So he signed when he was 18, and they finally got all the bureaucratic gobbledygook with him and Aziz Issa. They finally got that finished. So those two have now debuted and played a few games with Barca Athletic. So yes, Jonathan, like I already did that video a few weeks ago, the podcast with Essel a few weeks ago, or maybe 2 months ago, on like the history of Barcelona and Africa. So it was a really fun thing to do. It was all about the history. Looks like Lewandowski's onside, and offside. Okay, so 41st minute. Let me write that down. I'm not really writing any notes down, but 41st minute, Lewandowski offside. But not by but you saw the idea. Rafinha came to the middle, and then the through ball. Lewandowski was too quick with it. So one of the goals is to coming up. Like I do want to actually go back and in a little better detail. In Martinez and Kubarsi. Sorry, make another note against speed. Let's see. Araujo makes sense on a day like today. Yeah, Araujo makes sense on a day like today. I just want to write that down. So back to David Adurdo. Joel, hello from Paris. So yes, I do plan on making something because the African players aren't just like, and I know it's a run-on sentence, but who was it? Was it Villarreal a few years ago that had that agreement with some of like the Saudi Arabian players? Was it Villarreal, I think, who like brought in a few Saudi Arabia players that sat on the end of their bench, and the report had come out that they were actually like taking down the level of training, and like the club was just frustrating because they made this deal for money. They thought, hey, here's a new market, so they brought in a Saudi Arabian player, and it just didn't work. They just were not up to the level at all. But these youngsters coming over from Africa, from Ghana and Mali, they're good. They're good prospects in the African market. David Aduro was scouted by big clubs, and Aziz Issa was not as a big prospect, but he was scouted by big clubs. Ibrahim Diarra is a pretty big get after what he did at the U17 World Cup with Mali. So between Ibrahim Diarra and David Aduro, and again, I have to also research the other youngster who came, whose name is even escaping me, who came with Ibrahim Diarra. Like I have to go and watch some film of him. He's another attacker who came from the same youth system as Ibrahim Diarra. So I really want to refocus on the African talents as well, because it's not just like, hey, let's focus on the deal that they're going into the African market. Like these are real players that could play for them. Ooh, that was tough. Keeper had to Giatta. That's about as expressive as Hansi Flick gets. Frustrated that it wasn't a goal kick. Riata said he didn't touch it, so I guess he didn't touch it. But yeah, I do want to. There's so many youngsters in the first team in Barca Athletic and the U19s, and again, even down to the U16s right now have U14 players playing with them. That's what's so hard. Like I said, when I first covered Ball Day, you could find us on Barca Blog, and this is probably what I'm going to do. Actually, when I have some time, I'm going to take a lot of like my YouTube shorts that I keep doing on the La Masia kids. I'm going to move those over to like the website, just so it's a little more searchable with SEO and Google and all that stuff. Almo, little hit there late. I think Almo's had a really good game. Yeah, Almost had a really good game, I think. He's no concerns about him on the left wing. In fact, it solves some problems. I have a question for people in the chat. Do people usually, do they like go away for halftime? I have like my little marker here. I might have to just screen share. Just get some water at least. I mean, or we could keep chatting. I didn't do like a 30-minute pregame this time, so yeah, we could chat through halftime. Why break it up? But yeah, y'all know I could talk about the academy all day, but it's like so hard to talk about the academy now too. Because again, like if I start to make a list while I'm watching a game, maybe that's what we'll do at halftime. We'll do some Masia talk. I can answer some questions for people. Gabi disagrees. First little bit of Gabi being Gabi today. Got a tackle in on Iago Aspas. Oh no, that was Gerard Martin. No, that was Martin. I thought it was Gabi. Goodness gracious, Gerard Martin. Well, nah, he made a meal of that. Martin didn't touch the ball again, though. Is that going to VAR? Yeah, I think he made a meal of that. Yeah, Gerard Martin is not good enough. This is an all-time Iago Aspas. This is an all-time freak out from Iago Aspas. Yeah, okay. That's absolutely dissent. Of course, that's dissent. Yeah, this ref is not having a good game. That is definitely me one of the headlines. Who is reffing this game? Oh, let's see. Let's see. Referee for Barcelona versus Celta. Right. Cesar Satograda. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, he has helped. I think he was just getting treatment. I think he was so angry. I mean, I think Aspas is just so angry that yeah. Again, this is an all-time mental breakdown from Aspas. Chijoka, who would you say is our best player? Like today? I mean, it's Lamine Yamal, but like the best player today in this game. I think Dani Olmo had a pretty good game. I think Inigo Martinez has had a good game. It's not Gerard Martin. I think most of Barca has been okay, but Gerard Martinez had a stinker of a game. He deserves a red. The Negrella news coming tomorrow. Yeah, I could see that coming. And Rafinha has the goal. I think Costato's been fine. Yeah, then Igor Martinez and Kubarsi have. I mean, it's still a shutout. So, and I think is the best player Celtic. I mean, Bamba's had a good game. So has, and I think Ilas Moriba's had a good game too. So, yeah. Should I step aside for? Should I step aside for halftime, or should I? Do we want to talk Masia? Everybody in here. All right. Does everyone want to talk some Masia? Let's talk some Masia. Before everybody goes crazy. Yes. Okay. So let's talk some Masia. Let's do some Masia talk here. So I have my master list here, and I'm going to put this up here. I'm going to put this up here. Okay. Josh wants to talk. Hey, buddy. All right. Let's talk. All right. So here's the problem I think I have with talking about La Masia at the moment. There are too many kids to talk about, and not all of them make the first team. But like I would say, throughout my time covering the Masia, there were, I don't know how do you say that. You're gonna say like, if there's 3 levels, right? Like level 1 is yeah, like 1 is like guaranteed to be a starter, right? Or not starter, but like 1 is like guaranteed. How can that guy not be in first team, right? All right, I'm gonna write this down so I don't like get confused. So we'll say level 1, right? That's like top level is how will they not make the first team? Okay. Level 2, right? So level 1 for La Masia, how will they not make the first team? Level 2 is definitely a professional somewhere. Okay. So that's level 2, definitely a professional somewhere. And then level 3, we're going to say, not sure, not sure where their future is. Okay. So that's like the 3 levels we have. Okay. So let me write that down. Um, hold on. Let me find where am I? Let me see here. Let's see. Hold on, I have to just send a quick message. It's halftime, so I'm supposed to be off. But yeah, we're gonna talk straight through halftime. We're gonna do La Masia. So throw in, hey, in the chat right now as I'm writing this down. I need you guys to send me some names. So Joaquin just said Oscar Gustavo. So throw the names in the chat because I want to put them in one of these 3 categories of what I've seen. One is how will they not make the team? As in like the first team. 2 is definitely a professional somewhere. Does not necessarily Barcelona. And then 3 is I'm not sure where their future is at. I don't know what their ceiling is going to be. Pretty much all the kids that I've profiled for La Masia profiles fit into 1 or 2. A lot of the 3 kids, again, like I don't really cover them because I think they're just kind of filling in, like Ruben Lopez, who is a 20-year-old who came over from Deportivo La Coruña, maybe. He's 20, or 21, but I don't see Ruben Lopez as the player that's going to be for the Barca first team. Like, I don't think he's ever done first team training. Like, he was signed for Barca Athletic, right? That's an example of that. Yes, he came from Depor, right? So, like, Ruben Lopez is an example of a player that I'm not sure where his future is. Is he even like a La Liga professional, right? Or is he going to be a long-term player in the second division? Or, where is he going to be? Is he going to be bouncing around? So most of those players, like, I don't cover. Generally the players I'm covering for La Masia profiles are kids that I'm covering for. I'm putting in one of those top 2 categories, either going to be at FC Barcelona or being definitely a professional somewhere. Yeah, exactly. No, true Messiah. You're right about Pau Victor. Like that, his signing kind of breaks your brain because he did make the first team. Doesn't really play a lot. He's definitely going to be a professional somewhere, right? But I don't know, how much with Barcelona's first team he's going to be, how long is he going to be there. But Pau Victor is definitely in the class of Oscar Mingueza now, right? Like if Pau Victor goes to another side in the Liga, like he might just be a starter. He might already be at that level. Okay, so let's see. We have Styles the only one that I've seen. Okay, so as far as players in category 1, right? Do we even count Lamine Yamal? Like, do we count him? But anyway, so you got Lamine Yamal already in the first team, easy. Pau Gubarsi already in the first team, easy. Is Noah Darvish a level 1 or a level 2? Right? Is Noah Darvish? He was signed. He was a big prospect coming over from Freiburg. He was a big German U17 player, the best player on that German U17 World Cup team. He was like their talisman, their guy in the middle. So, Noah Darvish is the first one that I'm having trouble with already. Is he a level 1? Is he a level 2? Right now, like I'm almost like Noah Darvish to me is almost like a 1.5. Like, I think he's like the top of level 2. Like, I know he's going to be professional. Like, Noah Darvish is way too good on the ball when he turns on the ball and pushes forward. Let's see, Mohammed, you're asking a question. How fruitful do I think the Barca Africa connection is? Again, that's a huge question that I'm going to take time to answer. True Messiah, yeah, you're hitting me with the facts here. Darvish has been a captain with the winning U17 team and the current U19 captain. As I said, like Darvish, to me, will he make the Barca first team, or is he just definitely a professional somewhere else that's not Barca? I almost say like if between 1 and 2, he's like a 1.5. Like again, when I see him turn on the ball and get forward, he does have there's a Danny Olmo on the ball with the ball at his feet, pushing forward aspect of his game. He has the ability to be an elite passer out, in an attacking third. He does have an elite playmaking ability. Defensively, that's where my concerns are with him. But if you're protecting him, then that's just fine. And then Mohammed, you're asking, do you think there are any ready-made La Masia players who can replace Gerard Martinez as a backup for Balde? That's why we're making this list and getting to that. Hector Fort is already in the first team, right? So you've got a top right back prospect. Let's see. Mark Bernal. How is he not? Yeah, obviously in the first team. Mark Bernal, number 1, top level prospect. Pau Preem. Pau Preem is like almost a 1.5, but I almost, but Pau Preem is like a 1.8, right? Somewhere between, again, 1 and 2. He's like a 1.8 where I'm going like, I watch Pau Preem and I'm saying, how many other, defensive midfield prospects are there? It's just, he's an example of Pau Preem because of Bernal, because of Casado. I just don't know how you're going to get minutes for him in the first team. Like, how is that going to work out? But the improvements he's made from last year to this year, where last year he looked like he was kind of getting his feet wet in the second division, and now this season he looks very comfortable or the third division, I should say. He looks comfortable in the third division. I think he's been one of Barca Athletics' better players this season. And Pau Preem is like pretty much irreplaceable from that lineup right now. So Pau Preem, it's like, is he guaranteed to make the first team? No, but in years past, I would say Pau Preem as a prospect is on the level of Carlos Alenia. And again, Carlos Alenia was like, oh, you need prospects to come up. And I know I always use Alenia, but he was like the only star from that little group there. But Pau Preem, I would put him like almost on the same level of even an Albert Ruiz or a Sergio Gomez, as I said before, Juan Miranda. So I think Pau Preem is in level 2, but it's close for him. Diao Cochin, if I would say goalkeepers, I'm going to put him in the top level. Like Diao Cochin's already sitting on the first team bench, and he's just turned 18 years old, the American kid. I had Anar Alakan. He was a top kid, but he got hurt too much. So he's a professional elsewhere. Where Danny Rodriguez, people are very polarizing on him. I think Danny Rodriguez is a level 2. I like what he does on the left wing. I just don't think that Danny Rodriguez has been healthy enough. Like, he just has been hurt too many times in the last 2 seasons, and he's just not getting that consistent football. And I think it might take him a few years at a top level to kind of figure all that out. So I do put Danny Rodriguez pretty firmly in the, he'll definitely be professional somewhere. I just don't think it'll be at the Barca first team. I think Barca on that left wing, you just need, I think Barca are just going to spend money. That's why I say, like, you're asking me next season, is it going to be Rafael Leao or Danny Rodriguez? Like, what are we talking, right? That's not a comparison that's fair to anybody. Mark Casado his contract is a first team contract. So I'm not even like putting him on the list, but he's still 20 years old. So is Gabi, but that doesn't count. So Jakub Bashvili, I think Jakub Bashvili is a pretty good youth goalkeeper. He starts for the Hungarian youth teams. I think he will, at some point, Jakub Bashvili will be the starting goalkeeper for Hungary. So, but I don't think he's going to be able to get past just the horde of goalkeepers. And if Ter Stegen winds up being out for a long time or never comes back healthy, Barca will go out and spend some money on a goalkeeper. And again, Neil and I talked about that. Neil had a really good, example for a goalkeeper that should probably be the guy to look at, plays in Liga. I know the name. I just want you guys to go over and watch that. Unai Hernandez. I don't know. Unai Hernandez, to me, is also with Darvish, but in an entirely different way. Like, Darvish is younger, but to me, Unai Hernandez is like a 1.5. Like, if not for Fermin Lopez and all these other attacking midfielders, like, Unai Hernandez would already be getting opportunities. Jakub Bashvili is truly underrated. My favorite La Masia goalie from the U19 Barca Athletic team, the True Messiah. You're right. Again, Diao Cochin and Jakub Bashvili, the club would be so fortunate just to have one of those kids and to have both of them. So I know you're saying that, I said, like, he's going to be professional. That's why I'm not saying like he's going to be, I didn't put him in category 3 where I don't know what his future is. I just think that he's going to deserve some time and he'll go elsewhere. I think Guy Fernandez and Tony Fernandez are both first team players. Like I see what those two the cousins have, and they're just too good. I just they're 16 years old and they're so far ahead of schedule. Under Astrolaga's, I think he's a 2. I think Astrolaga's had some good moments, but I think there's just too much competition in front of him for the first team. It's a goalkeeper. It's tough being a goalkeeper. It's a tough life. Pedro Rodriguez. Now we're already in the, I guess category 4 here is too soon to tell, but what is he? He's 15 or 16 already. Pedro Rodriguez. Not that Pedro. Pedro Rodriguez. La Masia. How old is he? He is 16. He turned 17 in January. Okay, so he is 16. Pedro Rodriguez. But yeah, he's 16, and there's so much Gabi in his game. Like watching Pedro Rodriguez, I go, how is that not just Gabi 2.0? There's so much Gabi in his game, and he's so good. But he's 16, and there's a ton of midfielders in front of him, and he might wind up being. He just might be bit by the fact that there are too many other players right in front of him, and it just might be unfortunate. But I almost say too soon to tell, because to me, of what I've seen, he looks good enough to make a first team at Barcelona someday. Like, that's what I think his potential is. So I almost have to put him in like a too soon to tell category there. Let's see, Madu Murcia, too soon for him. How about Kim Juniette? That one is so hard. Like Kim Juniette kills me, because that's like another 1.5 for you, because Kim Juniette, as far as attacking midfield prospects that I watch at the U17 World Cup, he was in the small the small little pantheon of some of the best at that position. So Kim Juniette is another one who I put at a 1.5, because if he's in Barca's first team next year, no surprises. Is he the smartest in the Masia? You're saying that, the true Messiah? I actually think that, to me, Kim Juniette is one of the most talented in, looks like Hector Fort's coming on for the second half. To me, he is one of the best close control players in the academy. I think he's just one of the most technical, talented players. And Joaquin, I even said about it in that thing I did, Hector Fort coming on at halftime for, has to be Gerard Martin, right? Has to be Gerard Martin. This was fun. We didn't even get that far. We didn't even we got nowhere on our list. Andres Cuenca, Oscar Gustavo, we didn't get down to him. Where does Alex Garrido go? Juan Hernandez, Landy Ferre, Shane Clivert, Iman Cospo, Michael Zook, Saman Namoko, Ibrahim Diarra, David Adoro. Let's see here. Sergio Dominguez, Guillem Victor, that's Pau Victor's brother, Pedro Soma, Ibrahim Takara, Luzon Mba, Ika Rodriguez, another goalkeeper, Baba Kuruma, Abdul Aziz. There's too many. We don't talk about Almeida either. Yeah, no one ever talks about him. The true Messiah, I think he's an example of a player that his versatility almost hurts him, because he's such a versatile player. Like, he can play. Pedro Soma is first tier. Yeah, I agree with that. I think Pedro Soma is, and then that's why Pedro Soma is another reason why Pau Prim has to almost go at 1.8, because there's no way you have enough time and space for all those different players. We're going to pick that up later. That is a fun little thought experiment, and I think that is how I'm probably going to do my La Masia update at the end of next month. So Hector Fort is going to be coming in at halftime. Let's see here. So Hector Fort comes on at halftime. Yeah, I mean, that's a good idea for a live. Maybe I'll do it live and keep it up on the channel. Yeah, maybe we'll do it that way. Well, more likely, actually, True Messiah, instead of doing a live here on YouTube, I will likely do that during that holiday break on Big Up. That will definitely be a great Big Up thing. I can likely have on a guest. We could do Tactics Board to show you where those players are on the field, that kind of thing. So I'll likely have like Arsene Arson FCB on. Yeah, so we'll do it on Big Up, so we can have a tactics board for that. Ooh, Iago Aspas is still nodding his head no. Oh, because he just talked to the goalkeeper. I mean, the fourth official. Okay, so we got an angry Iago Aspas second half with an all-time so Hector Fort coming on for Jared Martin at halftime, right? Is that right? That has to be the case, right? They haven't updated it yet, but yeah, that had to be the change. I also do think a little bit there. See, would love to drop by the True Messiah. Yeah, sure. Would like to see Michi invited to the podcast sometime. Oriel, who are you talking about? Michi, who are you talking about? Can you, can't put a link there. Yeah, what's his name on social media? I'll check it out. Okay, yeah. So we will get back to that La Masia stuff later. That's a good idea. We'll do that. We'll probably do that again in the holiday because between now and then, I have to update. I also my hope, well, for Ibrahim Diarra and the other 18-year-old that came with him, he doesn't turn 18 until January, but I think he was already able to come. Oh, Michu's on YouTube. Okay. Michi. Oh, Michi. I gotta reach out to him. Michi. Is he a Barcelona guy? Oh, here he is. I think I found him. Oh, he's not just. Oh, he does talk about Barcelona. All right, I'll reach out to him. Yeah, all right, I'll reach out to Michi. See if we can do a collab with him. And Fossil, yeah, I've seen Fossil. Cheat joke. Fossil and I have different ways about how we go about our content creation. Get an interception, Hector Fort. Yeah, Hector Fort. Immediate interception to give him some confidence. Yeah, I'll try to get. Yeah, well, I'll get in touch with Michi. Thank you. That's a name I hadn't heard. Oh, like Michi's a big personality. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, listen, as long as it looks good for y'all on camera, that's really what we're looking for here, right? Because as much as things that happen behind the scene, right? As long as we just get it on on camera. I wind up working pretty well with everybody. I don't really have beef with anybody just because I'm a pretty easygoing guy, to be honest with you. So if it's another big personality, like I think I've said this story before. Back in 20, I guess it was during, yeah, it was like during the heat of the pandemic. So while there wasn't football going on, in 2020, I was asked very nicely as Kunde crosses in. This one's going to go out for a corner. So let's see. Fossil was a Madrid fan, more your vibe. Yeah, I agree. Maybe I could do a collab with Pascal, but he's got a huge following. Maybe I'll get in touch with him. But anyway, I was speaking of Real Madrid fan. So in 2020, I was brought on to, I think he was just stepped on. I think he's just going to try to walk it off. Is that me and Gabi is what we're talking about here. So Rafinha, let's do the corner first, and I'll tell the rest of my story about that Real Madrid podcast I went on. Let's see here. Rafinha, so that'll be an in-swinger. Nope, just playing a short. Almo, and that was a bad misplay. That's interesting that was just, oh, that's just a clear. I didn't see Aspas up there. Yeah, I love working with Barca Boy. I really like Barca Boy. Barca Boy and and Robbie. Those are my guys here on YouTube. Robbie and I are on Big Up together. We've collabed on stuff before. We did the iceberg stuff. So, yeah, Robbie's my guy. Bus boy. Yeah, never worked with Michi before. But anyway, so back in 2020, there was this two young guys. I don't remember where they were. They were definitely like a 10-hour difference from me. And they have a Real Madrid podcast. That was okay. It was, I think, it was a little smaller platform than mine, but I was like, okay, I'll just, go on their show and help them out, whatever. And they were very nice. They were really kind in the way that they're asking, hey, the Barcelona podcast people, then very kind, very, hey, can we do this time? We'll work with you. What are you available for? They didn't just like demand that I come on their show, right? They were very kind, worked my schedule, everything like that. So I go on their show and I thought we were talking, because this was right around the Negrera stuff had just started. So I thought we were just going to talk about, corruption in the Liga and refereeing. And I thought I was going to be really diplomatic. And it was a hit. It was a hit job. I went on there and these two kids, and I say kids, these kids are just trying to gotcha me with everything. They're just like, you have to admit that Negrera, you have to admit da 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 da. And I ended the show saying to them, like, hey, you kids need to like go to the library or get online, and how about you go read Sid Lowe's book, Fear and Loathing in the Liga, right? Do your reading, right? And or first finish your schoolwork, but then go do your reading. And when you finish that stuff and you understand the history of Barcelona and Real Madrid and Spanish football, yes, it's very different. Like Real Madrid, and of course, I've talked about the nuance of the dictatorship and the Franco regime with Real Madrid winning the Champions Leagues and Real Madrid before the Champions League and after the Champions League, and the role that sports and politics played in Spain in the 40s and the 50s after the Spanish Civil War. And I've talked about the nuance of that, right? And that is where the nuance of the two histories of these two clubs, Barcelona and Real Madrid, lie. And we'll say the power, like the unwavering power that is Florentino Perez, right? Him as a president of your club is different than even Laporta. There is something more magnanimous. Florentino Perez is going to be the president of Real Madrid as long as he possibly wants, right? He doesn't ever have to step down. It's just going to be him forever and ever and ever. But at Barcelona, it is a little more like Laporta. Hey, if you mess up, the fans will turn on you. And if you don't, then hey, we're going to let you be a politician and make your crazy decisions. And you're going to get praised when they do some winning, and then you won't, and you'll get replaced when they don't. Hector Ford giving the ball away there, but that looks offsides to me, and it's out of play anyway. So I basically ended by saying, hey, you kids need to do your reading and understand that in the 21st century, yes, Florentino Perez is different than Juan Laporta and the Barca board or Bartomeu, whatever, but comparing the corruption under Bartomeu and the Barca board and comparing Florentino Perez and Real Madrid in the 21st century and the Champions Leagues and the Ligas and all the winning that they've done, and Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi, the 21st century, Barcelona and Real Madrid, it's like looking in a mirror. It's those two are so different and run differently, and the things that they face and the things that those clubs face in terms of like working on broadcast rights and having a duopoly on the money in the Liga, right? Like those two, Real Madrid and Barcelona, have so much in common with each other. They are eternal rivals forever on the field. I hate Real Madrid. I tell people when I talk about other sports, even, there are sports teams I don't like, or, there are rivals of the teams that I root for in other sports, but there is only one team in this whole world, in any sport, that I truly hate, and it is Real Madrid. It's the only team that I would even like hate watch. It's the only team that I can turn on the TV and say, I do not want them to win. I would be upset if they win. I want the other team to win. It's the only team in any sport around the world. But that said, again, Barcelona and Real Madrid, they're the same, right? In a lot of ways, they're exactly the same in the 21st century. They are huge, big businesses in Spain that control so much of what Spain does in the footballing world. And you can talk about the corruption in the league and all that stuff, but like Real Madrid and Barcelona they're two brothers who have disagreements, and a lot of big disagreements, but they are two peas in a pod. And it's very different than the Premier League. It's different than how Ligue 1 is run in those clubs. It's different than Man City and PSG with the state-funded money. It's just different. So again, these kids came on thinking like, oh, we've got this Barcelona guy dead to rights, and then here I am like yelling at these kids about the history of Spanish football in the 30s. So anyway, my lesson is if you have any Real Madrid fans that you want to send my way or sick me on, I do charge a fee. I will charge you a fee to have me yell at your Real Madrid friends about Spanish football in the 30s and 40s in the Spanish Civil War time. But yeah, that I hope that was a lesson for them. That do not bring me on your show just to yell at me and tell me how Barcelona is corrupt and terrible because I will not stand for it. Barcelona is as corrupt as any other global football brand is at the moment. Everybody's just trying to make money, and they're trying to make as much money as possible. And you know what? I can't blame them because what do I always say whenever La Masia kid leaves? I say the same thing when La Masia kids leave. I say, go get your bag. Get your bag. You deserve it. You don't know when you're going to make money. Like I think people know who've been on with me for a long time. If I had better sense on how to make money doing this kind of stuff, I'd have a lot more money. But as y'all know, I just enjoy to not only do I enjoy to do this, but I like to feel like when people either join Patreon or when they subscribe or when you buy the merch, anything you do to help the channel, I truly believe that's because people enjoy what I do and get that out of it, right? It's not just begging for it. Z-Meister, thank you so much for getting me back on track here. So let's get on track. 56 minute is where I'm at in this watch along. It's 1-0 Barcelona still. And Barcelona has not started the second half well either. I think the game has opened up a little bit. And it's opening up right here. Rafinha again. Ooh. And Olmo can't keep it in. Good idea from Rafinha, though. So, yeah, the game opened up a bit in the second, which helped out Celta de Vigo. Bamba still so dangerous. Yeah, I mean, I think Chikoki, you're kind of onto it about that. Isn't that the problem though with Gabi and Costado and De Jong and Pedri? Like all four of them should be in one of those double pivot spots. Yeah, he's kind of been floating through this game. I agree. Yeah, I mean, Z-Meister, that's why I kind of did say that I agreed with Neil that, Roby, when I was on the show with Domagoj last week and we had that $150 million euro budget, and I had said that I would add a goalkeeper. Oh, what's happening here? Ooh, okay. Inaki Pena. Oh, offside anyway. Warning shots, though, for Barcelona. Aizawa, how do you feel about the Lamine Yamal dependency that's been talked about since our loss? Do you think we need a backup for him? I think Rafinha is the backup. Like Rafinha obviously scored the goal. Rafinha is the backup. I think Barcelona need a left winger, and I did change my tune about that when I did my homework for that. I said that just a really quality center back like William Saliba would make sense. And then I said that I think Barcelona would do well to upgrade the goalkeeper position for the long haul. But, doing some soul searching, yeah, Barcelona on that left wing, like when Lamine Yamal and Rafinha are there, Rafinha's been one of the best wingers in world football. So it's hard for Barcelona to ask, has any other club in world football this season, this is not a rhetorical question, has any other club in world football right now gotten so much out of their both left and right wing this season than Barca have from Rafinha and Lamine Yamal? I think the answer is no. If you got other examples, let me hear your best examples. But it's been those two above everybody else in world football in terms of. Well, Rafinha just skied one right on cue there. He was only off by about 40 yards, maybe. Sent that one to Galicia. Is right there on the ocean, right there on the rocks. So maybe sent that one right out in the Atlantic Ocean. But yeah, with how good Rafinha and Lamine Yamal, those are your starters. But I also think that Barcelona would benefit by bringing in someone like Rafael Leao and just having a left winger whose job is to be a left winger. True, right. Yeah, the level you get out of Rafinha depends on if Lamine Yamal plays. The opposite isn't true, though. Yes, I think Lamine Yamal's level, as I've said, Lamine Yamal, what makes him special is that every game he brings you something. His floor is so high. but his ceiling from game to game requires 2 players to defend him, and he creates so much space for everyone else. This is without hyperbole. There's no comparison I'm making with Lamine Yamal and Messi. Disclaimer before everything else. But the last player that Barcelona had in that front 3 that attracted 2 players consistently was Lionel Messi, right? I mean, he's also only been gone since 2020, but he requires a sliding over. Uh-oh. What is happening? Gabi? Bayana and Brian Zaragoza are interesting options for left wing, but I don't think I'd still prefer Lara or Nico Williams. Alice, Bayana. Oh gosh. Okay. Maybe maybe that was just a stinger. He is running. He's running. Everybody calm down. All right. Yeah, Bayana is not a left winger. No. Like Bayana, if Danny Olmo hadn't signed and Barcelona needed like another cheap option for that, I would say sure. Let's see. Rafinha. I feel like something's gonna happen here with Lewandowski. Is that what you're telling me? Yeah, that's what you're telling me. Okay, there it is. Oh, all right. Thanks for the heads up. All right, 61st minute. There's the 2-0. We're on the verge of the kids. I think one more goal. Give me one more goal in the next 10 minutes. Let's get some first team debuts. Nothing jazzes me up more than Champions League trophy, right? Champions League trophy, the Liga trophy, Copa del Rey, top prospect first team debuts, then Spanish Super Cup. I think that's my top 5 most exciting things that happened for Barcelona. So the 2-0 here. The true Messiah. I appreciate you didn't want to spoil it. Yeah, Martin Obanger a little late on it. So let's see. Rafinha gets it forward. Olmo makes the run inside. No, through the middle. And then Lewandowski. Nah, you're good. Receives it. Let's see. 2 deflections later. Lewandowski. Yeah, no, I'm only at 61-44, unfortunately. I know I was expecting to do this on Big Up today, so I didn't have like graphics and a score bug and all that prepared for this. So that's why, unfortunately, I had to I'm at where I'm at. So just 62-0-0 this very second. It's 15 goals for him in the Liga. I had said at the start of the year, Barcelona were going to win trophies if Lewandowski had 30 goals. Because how did they not? I've said before, like if Barcelona can score 85 goals in the Liga, they probably win the Liga. That's usually around 80 is the threshold. Kevin, hey, hope we don't let up. Remember when we were up 3-0 against Celta and it ended 3-3? So actually, one of the Celta de Vigo 3-3s, funny enough, I was at that game in 2017, right? So, yes. 2018. Right? No. December of 2017. Yeah, there we go. December of 2017. I was actually at that game, but I think that one was 2-2. Messi had a free kick in that one. Oriel, 120 something goals. That is a ton of goals, though. That is like an impossible amount of goals without Messi and Ronaldo scoring goals. Right now, Barca but they do have 42. Yeah, they do have 42. But yeah, I think the control and structure of Hansi Flick's teams are built to not give up leads. What am I talking about? Barca's record is 115. I think you're right about that. But yeah, 42 there. Not really on pace. That's so many goals. Barca have already had, 2 5-0s and 1 7-0? That's so many goals. I think Gabi should be coming out soon too. He was only supposed to play 60, like 70 minutes, right? 70 minutes max. Yeah, the 100 points record is hard to beat too, especially because they already took 2 losses against Osasuna and Real Sociedad. Like to get 100 points, you pretty much need to only lose once. The only thing is because of this style, they do not draw. Like this Barcelona team doesn't really draw a lot. They either win or lose. T-Joke, I don't think Gabi would be perfect on the left wing. I think that just takes him out of the best spot for him. Yeah, I think Frankie should be coming into this game shortly, though he did exit out of the Lendelin stuff because he wasn't fit, so he might not be fully fit again. Yeah, I would love to see Noah Darvic or Guy Fernandez make their first team debut. I don't think we're going to see both, but I mean, Guy's been on the bench or Guillermo. See what the broadcast calls him. Guillermo has been on the bench for 3 games. Is he offside? I think he's offside. Inaki Pena stopped it anyway. And they're saying he's not offside? Look at this trickery from Barcelona. Ooh, Pena. Yeah, Pena's been super good today. I mean, yeah, Pena's only had, I mean, he was a little shaky when he got the starting job again, but he's had a good month. Here's the thing, the true Messiah, like, no, Ter Stegen is good. Sorry. Ter Stegen is good. Like, goalkeepers give up goals. They're infallible, but, like, in particular, Ter Stegen is so good with the ball at his feet, like, in possession with Barcelona. Like, that's what I think culés are. Whoever the goalkeeper is 5 years from now, that's gonna be the real challenge, like, getting a goalkeeper that is as good with the ball at his feet. And I think that could have been a lot better. Fort, I like Hector Fort coming in at halftime because he is really getting forward. And basically, Barcelona is playing. I mean, they're playing with 4 at the back, but for all intents and purposes, they're kind of playing with 3 at the back, and Fort is just way up there on that left side, as Balde is. So he's, yeah. Hector Fort is just better than Gerard Martin. That's just like a fact. There you go. Right on cue. Right on cue. Hector Fort with a interception there. He's just better, yeah. But I could also see how Hansi Flick is trying to work him along slowly. I know a lot of people don't like Mats, but I think Ter Stegen he's top level. Like even the worst. I don't know. Like I mean, it depends on like who you're comparing him with. Like all these goalkeepers have their good years and their bad years and their ups and their downs. But he's consistently just so good with the ball at his feet. Bruce, are you ahead of us? Is Mark Hossado about to do something cool? I have a sense that Mark Hossado is about to do something cool, Bruce. He's a free kick. So I'm at the free kick. They haven't kicked a free kick yet. The ref is still directing traffic. 69th minute. 68-10 to be exact. Okay, so Pena just got to get the easy one there. Was that Marcus Alonso that took it? True Messiah, you'll be here to remind me that Ter Stegen really was that bad when the next one comes in. Yeah, I mean, listen, I hope the next goalkeeper is great. I don't know. I don't know to tell you. I hope that he's great, and I hope that I'm like, oh, Ter Stegen was replaceable. But Ter Stegen has also, in total games he's played, and I know it's like out of necessity, because there really wasn't another option, but He's played a lot of games for the club. Like whether you want to admit it or not, he that being Ter Stegen, he's like a top 75 player in terms of like total appearances, in terms of the total games, and all those different aspects. Ines Moriba thought he got the foul. Yes. One of our 5 headlines, which I'm going to record later. I'm actually not going to record on this stream. I'll record later, but Cesar Sotagrata has definitely helped out Barcelona today. Let's see. I saw you got convinced by the Barca football guy about why it's better investment we get a left wing. Why would you personally go for Leo or Nico? Would you rather wait till the end of the season? Oh, Bruce, you're saying the consistency of Mark Costello. Yeah. I can't say enough good things. I was so wrong about Costello. I was just so wrong about his top level in the first team. This system, the Hansi Flick system, I just like seeing him in that 4-3-3 last year. Like I understood it. You saw it. He improved last year under Rafa Marquez in the 3rd division. But the way that he's fit in Hansi Flick's double pivot is just something I could not have imagined. It's really been a joy. Who would I go for? Rafael or Nico Williams? I just think the best day from Rafael is a world beating player. I think Nico Williams, from what I've seen over time, every two out of 4 games or every 3 out of 5 games for him is a good game. And then one of those games he goes missing in a way that, Dembele kind of would go missing for a game or 2 every 4 or 5. But I think Rafael, we talk about ceiling, like because of physically what he does. I think there's like only 1 or 2 times I could point to, and it's like, oh, he was like missing in this game. Rafael just every game there's something happens with him. There's a moment. So those are the players that I look for because actually, honestly, that's where Rafinha. I know this hasn't been his best game, but he does have a goal, and he does also have the assist to Lewandowski too. I think they gave him that assist. So when it comes to Rafinha, he's turned himself into an every game player, which is every game at minimum, Rafinha is going to give you something that's helpful, something that makes your team better, something that helps you defensively, something that helps you offensively, whether it's scoring a goal, getting an assist, giving some kind of goal contribution, creating space for someone else with his runs. Rafinha is giving you something every game. I think Olmo is so far, like in every game Olmo has played, there's a moment I point to and go, all right, yeah, Olmo's a player. He does something. Like Pedri hasn't really faded through games. Like really the Osasuna game was the only bad game this whole season for Pedri. I mean, this game, arguably, he's been there. I mean, Barcelona up 2-0, right? Like when we talked about what Barcelona were trying to do here, which was tried to do it again here, that Koundé trying to find Rafinha. They've been looking to bypass that press from Celta de Vigo by bypassing the midfield, going right from the back line straight to the forward. So what are we expecting Pedri, Costello, and Gabi to do other than to kind of keep the team shape and keep control of this match, which I think they've largely done at 2-0. Yeah, I think I agree with that. Lamine Yamal and Rafinha and Rafael, I think one of the things that Captain Guardiola just brought up that I want to talk about, I saw this on social media in the first half, is that at this point in the season, certain players have gotten hurt, some players are coming back, some players have gotten injured again, that there are like 14 or 15 players that Hansi Flick now has played and has trusted, and he's played them a lot. And now you're getting to that point in the season when you kind of need to go 17 or 18 with injuries. And Hansi Flick, unfortunately, still has about 14 or 15 that he can trust. And then again, the cliff with Gerard Martin is a cliff, and it's into youngsters. The next center back is Sergio Dominguez because Araujo's not back and Christensen is still injured. So you do kind of fall off a bit of a cliff. And that's no disrespect to Sergio Dominguez. He's, 19, 20? Center back? Yes, Joaquin, same thing. I mean, that's I think was Neil's argument that I think is really, I think that was kind of what sold me when he wasn't just hyping up Rafael and saying, hey, Rafael, he is the guy. But when you really explain Rafael Leo's skill set and the way that he goes about his most dangerous opportunities, whether it's the overlap or the underlap with Balde, I think Leo would have a really good partnership with Balde. Defensively, I would be a little bit concerned with him, But I also think that Balde would, by and large, be able to keep his position a bit lower. He wouldn't really need to come forward because Leo is someone that does attract a double team consistently as well. So I think that's going to allow Balde to kind of be much more himself, and I think flourish in the best version. And if you can get the best out of Balde, sign me up twice on Sundays. So here we are, 75th minute. Let's see. Casado gets a yellow, and Gabi and Pedri off for Fermin and De Jong. Let's see. Bruce, in the games without an outlet winger, we struggled. So having an outlet winger across the bench is important. Yeah, but that winger also can't be somebody that is guaranteed starts and absolutely needs starts. If you get Leo, where would we play Rafinha? Well, Rafinha can play as the 10. And I think if you have Leao, which is less of a defensive option on the left wing, you could easily put Rafinha in the center there. Or again, Lamine Yamal can sit sometimes, Or Rafinha, I think Rafinha can also play through the middle and make runs through the middle. If you're going to spend big on Leao, Barcelona for 3 summers are not going to have enough money for a number 10. So can Rafinha kind of be the number 10? Because then even in the academy, Gustavo is 17. And could he be the backup in like 2 or 3 years? And then what if Danny Olmo? Good question. Well, then Danny Olmo can also play as a 10. Having all these options means you get to rotate who's starting. But it fortifies your bench to the point where that would be the drop-off, right? That if you had one of those players get hurt, now you have a starter. And now that drop-off is less. Because as we keep saying, like the drop-off for Barca at the moment can be big at certain positions. Like if Lewandowski went down for any discernible amount of time, what does Barca do? That's a rhetorical question. I don't know. I don't know what they do if Lewandowski went down for any big amount of time. Fortunately, in the midfield, there's enough players to figure it all out. Yeah, so I think Rafinha on the post. Was this Olmo feeding him? And Fermi went out to the left. So Fermi went out to the left. And Olmo came inside. Big striker in 2026. Yeah, maybe. Lewandowski might have. I mean, you never know. Lewandowski might have that extra year in him. Look at what LeBron James is doing. I mean, he's inhuman, but Lewandowski is considered one of the fittest players in his age range in the whole sport. So I think there are some opportunities to be had there. I hope for Lewandowski. He's returned to form. Listen, if he scores 40 this year, he has more than earned the right to be the starter for Barcelona next season. Because even the drop-offs, because even if he scores 40 this year and he drops off to 25 next year, again, you're getting more out of Lamine Yamal. You're signing a potential left winger, like a big name, right? If you're not going big for a forward. And so 25 from Lewandowski last year. Bruce, are you ahead of us? Was that Mingueza? Oh, Casado fouls him. And De Jong gave it away. How far ahead are you? There's a corner? You're that far ahead? Oh, is this Borja Iglesias? Does he score a header goal? Am I that far behind? No, I'm live where I am. The ESPN.com watch feed is always like pretty delayed. Oh, does Ilas Moriba score a wonder goal? No. Hector Fort, forward. Nope. Ooh, Iñaki Pena. Oh, he was offside anyway, but he stopped it anyway. So 79th minute. Offside. Stopped it anyway. I might have to make Iñaki Pena might get his own fifth headline today. I've been like having so much fun discussing everything with everyone that I haven't really been making my 5 headlines. Oh, Bruce, you're seeing the chance late. Okay. So instead of being ahead, you were late. All right, got it. I don't know if Rafinha will get less time. Like again, you don't build your squad the expectation that a player needs to start every single week. I think Barca have been lucky and fortunate that Lamine Yamal hasn't dealt with injuries at this point in his career. I think that not saying that Lamine Yamal will get hurt. I'm just saying that between Rafinha and Leao and Lamine Yamal, like players will get hurt. That happens. So having 3 options and having Rafinha who can play in multiple positions is helpful. Oh, Bruce, you're in Africa. Okay, so Bruce, you're excited for me to talk about David Aduro and Aziz Issa and Ibrahim Diarra because I'm excited to do my research. And Bruce, did you see what I had on the channel from a few months ago? The Barcelona, the history of African football. That big piece I did 2 months ago that took me months to make that script. I had been working on that even, and when I even say months, I mean like years. Like I had already collected like the Eto notes, and I had just already put together so much of that. Streaming from Nigeria. Shout out to Nigeria. The True Messiah. Thanks. Thank you. I enjoyed making that video. Olmo. It's been a sloppy game too. A lot of fouls. All right, 81st minute, up 2-0. Time to bring in the kids. Oh yeah, thank you. Best channel about the La Masia prospects. I appreciate that. I mean, that's one of the things that always attracts me to the club. The fact that, they keep producing these talents, and it just you can go, oh, they're way offside by a million miles. Uh-oh. Come on, Casado. So now he's going to be missing for next weekend, which is Las Palmas. So he misses out on Las Palmas next week. So no Las Palmas for him next weekend. I want to pull back on Ilas Mariba and no kids. Let me see here. So what happened again? Okay. So that ball was way out. Way out. Yeah. Definitely out over the goal line. All right. So Barcelona have to play down with 10. They got 7 minutes to do that. I don't think the kids were going to see this game anyway. Between when Fermin and Frankie came on, I mean, like maybe. What are you doing? What are you doing? Koundé. Yeah. Koundé. That is a disaster. That is an abject disaster by Koundé. Yeah. He just dribbled towards his own goal. Yeah, he just dribbled toward his own goal. And is that Alphon? Jeez. Yeah, Alphon Gonzalez. There's nothing Naki Penny could have done there. Oh, Celta, you got to play him to the final whistle. Bruce, every time we've changed one player from the double pivot, we've not controlled games. I think that's probably a bit true. I think Barcelona does struggle to make these in-game changes. What is happening? Borja Iglesias. And that one's well blocked by Negro Martinez. Good game by Negro Martinez, by the way. Ooh. Oh. Jeez Louise. Not great, Barca. Not great. What do you mean La Liga is kind of done? What do you mean La Liga is kind of done? Right now, if Barcelona were to draw this match and Real Madrid win tomorrow and they win their game in hand, Barcelona are up by, let's see. So they'd be on 35 points. Barcelona, they'd be up by, still be up by 2 points on Real Madrid. What are we talking about here? Yeah, it's no way done. Barcelona is still going to be top of the table for until at least Real Madrid make up their game in hand. Yeah, not great. So what happened here? I'm just rechecking the goal. The back line was out of sorts. Yeah. That's frustrating. Yeah, this is going to be a frustrating result. This is going to be a tough 5 headlines to do because the whole thing kind of flipped on its head, right? And I mean, Celta's been just as good as Barcelona in this game. I think Cesar Sotograda, as interesting as it is, like Barcelona got a red card in this game, but I still think the referee kind of favored Barca. Like, is that fair to say? Yeah, too far for Rafinha. I mean, sometimes, teams do get that last bit of energy, that last bit of push when they, yeah, Barcelona had the 3 points and now they're going to be down to 1 point. Still a little time. Not much though. Let's see. I wish Frankie, so that's like one that I wish Frankie would just have. Lewandowski wasn't making the run. So 89th, here comes Pablo Torre. So I mean, yeah, Lewandowski looks exhausted there. Didn't even go for that far post run. Came on for who? Lewandowski and Danny Olmo. Okay. All right, so last Bush. Now you got Fermin pretty deep. Yeah, Frankie de Jong and Olmo basically playing. That is not good from Fermin Lopez. And that's a handball on Inigo Martinez. Refs playing advantage. Stops it. Yeah, Kevin, Koundé had a good day. He had his hands full with Bamba, and it was zeros for a long time, and then he really made that mistake. I think this game should have been 2-1 Barcelona. Yeah, it's a handball by the letter of the law. It's the one that's out in front of him. That's a tough look. How much added time? I'm gonna guess. My guess is +4. Yeah, Celta's tough. Celta at Celta's a tough one. Yeah, and then other people are saying that, yeah, people are surprised that De Jong didn't shoot that one ball back there. And I'm agreeing with them. All right, Pena, let's get out and run. 4 minutes, 3 minutes, I should say. I mean, that's if Barcelona can get on their own half. Yeah, it's kind of frustrating. I think it's a bit I think it's a bit frustrating too that, oof, yep, no offside. Yeah, it's another Celta remontada. That's kind of the note there. All right, let's see what happens. I don't know if Barca are going to lose this. There's 2.5 minutes left. It's pretty much end to end now, though, so anybody could get their opportunity. Ilas Moriba gets a yellow. Again, I'm excited, at least in the end of December, to talk about his younger brother who's in the academy. How about that? We had some fun, at least today, as frustrating as this was. So we're in the 93rd minute here. All right, there's some space for Fermin. Out to Pau Victor. Pau Victor's not really a dribbler, but he's a runner. There's Koundé. Find him. And who went down in the box? Is that Pablo Torre went down in the box? Yeah. You're not going to get that call, though, in the 94th minute. Even though, it was close. Should have kept Martin and taken Koundé off. It's a hot take, Z-Meister. How about Costa doesn't pick up a second yellow? Let's start there. It's a bad giveaway. There you go, De Jong. That's just not good from De Jong. De Jong dribbled right into the bodies. Too easy. Fermin and De Jong, it's true. Like the level just dipped. The Costado red plus Fermin and De Jong coming on at the same time. The level dipped too greatly. I think Ford has had fart. I think Ford has had good moments and bad moments since he came on. I think he's a bit like a chicken with his head cut off, like defensively, positionally, but when it's right, it's right. Like his instincts are very, very good. All right, Fermin. Feels like a yellow. I think Fermin has a right to be angry. Marcos Alonso. Classic Marcos Alonso stuff. All right, Barca, you got like 20 seconds. See what you got. Pablo Torre out. They got to switch that field quicker. There you go. Rafinha is offside, though. He was offside anyway. And I think that's going to be it. Ugh, gosh. So that's definitely 2 points that should have been Barcelona's, and they weren't. That's a bummer. Yeah, that's frustrating. Hansi Flick, I think, is rightfully angry. I don't think he should be angry at the referee. I think both teams are hard done by in certain aspects. I think Iago Aspas is absolutely right. Barcelona should probably be down to 10 men in the first half. Gerard Martin definitely should have picked up that second yellow, and he didn't. And that second yellow came on Costado. Yeah, I think the game kind of changed. I don't know how much we even blamed De Jong and Fermin Lopez. Like they came on in a time in the game when they were down to 3. Yeah, I think overall, to your point, I think Sotogrado was not his best day. I think he just struggled in every aspect. But yeah, I think Barcelona got to be frustrated. Koundé, that was one of the worst mistakes I've seen him make. Didn't get to see the kids. Yeah, leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Fortunately for Barcelona, Isu, what do you think wasn't good about Cubarsí this game? I think Inigo Martinez and Cubarsí playing in that high line did everything they needed to. Like when I go to assign blame on either of the goal, they're not a part of that. And if your two center backs are not to blame or are free of blame, let's say this a third way. If we were to have a blame pie, right? If blame was a pie and we were giving out pieces of pie for this loss, right? I think you give some of it to Costado for picking up the second yellow. I think you give pretty hefty piece to Koundé for that first goal. It's just an awful error by Koundé. I think you give some of it to Fermin and Frankie, just a little bit. And I think Hansi Flick can maybe share in that little piece of pie with those subs for Gabi. But also Pedri and Gabi had to come off. So you look at it and it has to be Fermin Lopez and it has to be Frankie de Jong. Like those are the players you put in there. And then a little bit of credit to Celta de Vigo. Like, I don't think Celta de Vigo were second best today. I think they were like 50-50. They just didn't take their chances 11v11. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, Bruce, to your point, yeah, Costado stayed in though with the yellow, and then Frankie and Fermin came on for Pedri and Gabi. That's an interesting thing to know. This is frustrating. 2-2 draw when it should have been a 2-0 win, or should have been a 3-0 win, or whatever it was. Didn't get to see any of the kids making their first team debut, and Guy Fernandez and Noah Darvic. Yeah, all around, like, frustrating stuff. Inaki Peña was good enough to deserve the win. He had some good stops, even on the stuff that was offside. Thought Olmo had a good day. I thought Rafinha had a good day. I thought the center backs, Inigo Martinez and Cubarsí, had a good enough day. Thought Barcelona were good enough on the day to win the points, even if it was 2-1. But you can't commit the error that Koundé committed. And then you cannot, from that error, yeah, to your point, Z-Meister, that's not league winning mentality. I agree with you. This is a kind of game where when you didn't bring your best, you still got to pick up the 3 points. And they were up 2-0. Should have picked up the 3 points. And yeah, maybe it's a little bit on Flick. I think that might be a little bit true. I think the team kind of lost their way when Costado got the red card, and then they didn't find it. They didn't find that right winning formula once the first goal was scored by Celta. You think Barca's press, Bruce, was good in the first half or Celta? I thought Celta's press was good the whole game. It's a hard-fought game, too, between Celta and Barca. There's always, like, a lot of fouls, too. For anyone who doesn't know their Spanish geography, it rains a lot in Galicia, and this ground, the ground in Celta, or in Vigo, I should say. So Celta's ground is generally there's some bounce to it. Yeah, I mean, I think, as I said, if I'm making the blame pie, which will probably be my last headline, my fifth headline will probably be just blame pie. I'm gonna give Koundé a big heap and helping of that blame pie because that was he gave him the goal. He dribbled to his own goal, and there's no excuse for that. I think he knows that, and you move on. I mean, Koundé is one of the best right backs in world football, and that he very rarely makes those kind of mistakes, but he made the mistake, and it happened. And yeah, not much more to say of it. Also, I'll mention too that 77th minute that 77th minute moment when Rafinha hit the post. It's tough. That's now we look back and we say, yeah, if Rafinha had scored that, if Rafinha had scored that, then Barca would be up 3-0, and I think the game is over. You know what's crazy about the Castro thing too? Why he pulled Ilas Moriba back, I can't possibly tell you because it feels like the two forwards are offside. So I think it was offside anyway. I don't know. All right. I think I'm going to call it. I think this is going to shut down the stream unless anybody has any more negativity to add to this. But yeah, this was frustrating. I'll be doing the 5 headlines probably later, actually, even into tomorrow. So do not expect that a while because, again, this was a full 2-hour watch along here on YouTube. So I hope everybody did at least enjoy this. Hope we had some fun. I said on Tuesday, the expectation is to go back to the 30-minute preview at 2:30 for that game against Brest, and then at 3:00 head over to watch to Big Up for the watch along over on Big Up, where we'll have the tactics board and all that stuff. So there are things to think about. There are questions to ask, and you only have until Tuesday to consider them. And I'm going to try to think about some of those with the 5 headlines. So, all right, that's it. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining this live stream. This is the first watch along we've ever done on YouTube the entire time. So thanks, everybody, for helping along with the questions and the chatter and everything. Had a lot of fun. So, again, frustrating result. Fortunately, it wasn't even a loss. It was just a draw. Barcelona are still leading the Liga. I know Real Madrid have gains in hand, but hey, La Liga's tough. Real Madrid haven't been the best side of the season, so we'll see. Let's hope the Hansi Flick can learn from this, fix what's happening with the team, and you move on until you move for Tuesday. All right, everybody. As always, whether you win, lose, or draw, Forza Barca.